what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 1987 Nissan Pulsar NX. Up front is a 1.6 liter inline 4 and down below is a 4-speed automatic transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here Pulsar for many reasons, but mainly the fact that they're rare. This is an extremely clean example, both of which are perfect reasons for me to be reviewing it today. This video was filmed in the beautiful sunshine state of Florida. If you would like to submit your vehicle no matter where you are in the country, please head on over to zackpradle.com where there's a quick and easy submission form, and the next time I travel the country, I might be coming to you. But let's get back to that 1.6 liter under the hood. Well, there was the EX and SE. This is an EX, so it got the single jingle, single cam 1.6 liter from Nissan. However, the SE actually got a dual cam 1.6 liter, and it doesn't make that much power. However, you have to remember that this is a pretty light and small vehicle, so you don't really need all the power in the world to really enjoy it and have fun. Like I said, paired to it is an automatic transmission, nothing too crazy. It's a late 80s automatic, and it doesn't really forge its own story. It's just here, it's existing, and that's all I can really say about it. Last but not least, the Pulsar NX is front-wheel drive. So how does it feel to actually drive the Pulsar NX? Well, it's a fun little coupe. Is it fast? No. But cars don't need to be fast in order to be fun. And that is most certainly the case here. With that stuff out of the way, let's talk about the interior. Well, in front of me, I have very plain Nissan gauges. Nissan's kind of known for this. Off to the left is the tachometer. In the center is the coolant temperature and fuel. And off to the right is the speedometer, of course, highlighting 55 miles an hour because that was the national speed limit at the time. The steering wheel doesn't actually have anything on it besides the horn button. However, to the left and right of the gauge cluster, I have a ton of buttons. Again, very 80s to sort of tack these buttons on to left and right. Off to the left, I do have my rear defrost and headlight switches, and off to the right, I have my hazard switch headlight poppers just to put them up but not turn them on, and then my windshield wipers. Moving on to the door, I have a climate control vent that I can actually pop out of the door if I would like extra cooling. That is a really, really cool gimmicky feature in the NX. But down below, I have my latch to get in and out, grab handle, and crank for the window. Moving into the center, I do have 2 climate control vents and the climate controls themselves. Recirculating off to the left, as well as fan speed and AC. And off to the right, I can choose where to send it and my temperature. Now, one of the only aftermarket things in this car is the radio, which I don't mind. You need something modern if you're gonna listen to modern music, and I think it's rather tastefully done. Then I do get an ashtray and the shifter itself. I love this. This is very, very 80s, where it has this sort of thin stick putting it together, and it works, so I'm not gonna complain. Then I do have the parking brake, meaning there are no cup holders here in the Pulsar NX, so unfortunately it fails the big friggin' bottle test. Then I get a little center console and the seats. Everything in here is finished in blue, which I really, really like. And the seats are nice and comfortable. They are a little sporty. They have these sporty bolsters on either side, but they're not too sporty to be uncomfortable for big guys like me. However, speaking of seats, we do have tiny little back seats. Here they are, and they're not great. Barely anyone is going to be able to fit back here. They're really, if you need them in a pinch back seats, they're fine. However, let's talk about the rear hatch, because that's the cool part of this car. So the rear hatch is actually removable, and Nissan says you should remove it. They tell you to do it. And so you could actually get different attachments for the back. You could either drive with it open, and there's a little third brake light that activates when the hatch is removed, so you still have your third brake light. Or you could put this shooting brake style cap on the back in the day if you could find one, which I'm sure they've long dissolved at this point. So this was a modular car. You could actually change the bodywork depending on what you were feeling that day and what attachments you had at your disposal. That to me is super, super unique and the calling card of the Nissan Pulsar, at least here in America. Now, Overseas, there was also the Pulsar GTI-R, which I've reviewed, which was a right-hand drive turbo hatchback. That's really cool, and that's synonymous with the Pulsar name. Here in the States, this car was wacky and weird. And so let's talk about the exterior. First of all, I love the phone dial wheels. I love the color. I like the blue on blue, so typical 80s, and I love seeing that. I also love the pop-up headlights, and the tail lights are something extremely cool that I don't think I've seen on any car since. Really, really fantastic stuff from Nissan. And so let's get on to my final thoughts. What do I think driving a Nissan Pulsar NX? Well, I think it's incredibly wacky and weird and really refreshing. You see, modern Nissan, at the time of making this video here in 2023, Nissan is a boring automobile company. My rental car is a Nissan. It's a Nissan Rogue, and it is probably one of the lamest cars I have ever driven. I hate it to my core. But back in the late 80s and early 90s, Nissan was truly something special. Take this car out of the equation for a second and take a look at the Nissan 300ZX, an amazing sports car, my favorite sports car maybe. Take a look at the Nissan hardbody pickup trucks. Take a look at the 240SX. Nissan was doing some really, really cool stuff. And so this is a snapshot of the glory days. This is when Nissan was at their peak. They were exciting, they were fun, they were interesting. This is like looking through old school yearbooks and remembering all the clubs and groups you were a part of and all the laughs and all the memories. And it brings you extreme satisfaction, but also a little bit of sadness that those days are gone. Nissan doesn't produce anything an eighth as cool as this. And this is incredibly cool, incredibly retro, and I love it. I just love it. But I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you really liked it. Take care, guys.